Brady, our man, how we doing tonight?
Doing good. Just getting ready for the season coming up.
Yeah, man. 4 days away. It's so close and you can taste it. I mean, I can only imagine how you are. We as fans and guys who cover it, we're stoked. So as you as the guys taking the field, I mean, you gotta be chomping at the bit. But before we get into your story and get into baseball, man, let's talk. Did you watch the Super Bowl last night?
I did. I
What
did.
what'd you think? Good game?
Great game. I'm a Chiefs fan, born and raised in Kansas City, so I love watching that. Love watching that.
See, I figured that being where you're from, but we've made some assumptions on this show before and been very wrong. Guys being from like, I don't know, the West Coast and then like Washington fans. So like, and I don't mean Washington State, I mean like Washington Commanders. So it's like, don't ever want to make any assumptions that you might be a Chiefs fan, but that's what's up that your
Yeah.
team won. Let me ask you a question. When you go to a Super Bowl party, does food matter?
Yes, it does. Have to have the essentials. I'm
What
gonna
are
go
the
with
essentials?
you gotta have some kind of like chips and queso. You gotta have some people call them pigs in a blanket, uh, or little corn dog things. And then you got to have some good chips. And then I like hot dogs and burgers just because it's kind of like a grill out. If it's nice out, I mean, that's just kind of like a Super Bowl party, kind of.
I got to figure out how the host of my party showed up with a Chick-fil-A chicken nugget tray on a Sunday because as we know they're closed, but he had one, so I don't know who he
Huh.
knows, but he made it happen, and ain't nothing wrong with the nugget tray, and he had the queso as well. But yeah, those are all must. Got That's what it's like for me when I'm choosing what party. It ain't even about the friends. It's multiple parties, multiple friends. Who's got the best layout of food?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's almost like you don't even want to show up if there's not good food there.
No, hey Daniel, would you come to my house if I had no food just to watch the game with me?
No, not a chance. Not a chance.
So, music, there was Chris Stapleton and Rihanna last night. We're not going to talk about them specifically, but it leads us to the question, we always like to know what's your favorite musician or band?
Musician or band, it's so tough. Um, See, like for me, I like old country. So like I like kind of like the Tim McGraw, George Strait, Alan Jackson type
You
of group.
you just got our respect because me and Daniel don't listen to new country. We like the old school country, and so you're speaking to us. We're with you on that.
Yeah, I'm not too into the new country. I mean, some songs are good, but like I won't. I'd rather listen to the old country, the prime country.
I feel you. What's your walk up song this year? You coming out to some old country by chance?
No, no, I'm not.
You
I'm
coming out
coming
to
up.
rap music, ain't you?
Yeah, some J. Cole. It'll so that's what gets me going. Country is just kind of like when I lay back and I'm driving in the car too. So
Yeah, no doubt. One of my favorites is when you have a guy that'll bat and he'll either come out to some rap song or whatever or the country and then it'd be vice versa and the person behind him comes out with the opposite. So you go from country to rap or rap to country and it's just like they don't vibe together at all.
yeah,
Always the weirdest mix. So you just talked about being a Chiefs fan, man. Was that like your favorite team always growing up, or did you have a favorite athlete, maybe a different sport? Could have been baseball, could have been anything that you idolized growing up.
I would say just watching the Chiefs and the Royals growing up. I mean, I've lived there my whole life, so that's all we got there in Kansas City. And so just watching, players like when the Royals won the World Series. I mean, still, being in high school and watching, the great teams that they had. And then now watching Mahomes the last few years, it's been pretty good. Pretty good
Yeah,
run.
yeah. You grew up in an area where you got to see some winning teams. Not everybody gets blessed like that, Brady. They
Yeah,
grow up in
I've
a place
also
where they
hey,
don't
I've
win
also
anything.
seen the worst teams too. So it's been down and then it's been up. So I've seen both.
All right. Well, I got one last one, and then I'll let Daniel dive into your story, man. We got a lot of people got their hot takes on what the best baseball movies are. I'm not gonna ask you what the best one is. I'm gonna ask you what your favorite baseball movie is.
My favorite baseball movie. Um,
I'm gonna judge you based on this answer too. Wrong answer, Brady. I'm cutting this episode right here.
so are we answer me this. Are we gonna go comedy baseball movie or are we gonna go like kind of serious?
You can go any way you want about it.
All right, so I'm gonna go serious. I like Moneyball just because I just like the backstory on that and just all the logistics that go into
See,
it.
you went solid because I'm Sandlot's my number one movie, so that's your funny side. But
Yeah.
Moneyball's my number two movie, so I feel you with what you were trying to decide. Daniel over here, he's a major league guy.
See, I was that
Yep.
was the other one I was thinking about on the comedy side because that one is an all timer.
That is definitely it's one of those movies that no matter if you're flipping through the channels wherever it's at in the movie, you're gonna stop and you're gonna watch it
Yeah, you're gonna
for a
turn
little
on.
bit. Yeah,
Exactly.
for sure. All right, Brady, man, let's jump into your story, man. Obviously, all good stories start in the beginning, man. So let's go there. Talk to me a little bit about where you're from.
Yeah, so I grew up in Kansas City, specifically in Olathe, Kansas, and I've grown up there from since I was a baby all the way up through.
Gotcha. So it's like we've had, man, 175 guests. I think you're our first guest, really, that's from Kansas. So tell us something that maybe a lot of people don't know about Kansas. What is the best thing, or maybe like something strange that nobody would ever know?
Um, it's almost like there's the Kansas City area, and then like you kind of head west, and then there's just nothing almost. But the barbecue is so good there that I think it beats any barbecue in the whole country.
Oh, we
And that's where the episode ends. Have a
we
good
co-
night,
we we
everybody.
co- we come from the home of barbecue, there, Brady.
Really.
Memphis, Tennessee, sir.
Memphis, yeah, but I know you're going to say Memphis because I've got some teammates from Memphis and they say the same thing.
You know, maybe Arkansas just needs to have a showdown. Let's get you, the Memphis guys. I'm sure you guys got some Texas guys. Everybody just grill up and like let's see what we got.
Yeah,
I think that's the only
I'm
way to
down for
decide it.
that.
Next Super Bowl, Kansas City
Yep.
will probably be there again anyway, so
Yeah.
Brady's down.
There you go. All right. So you got dad, you got two sisters. Tell me a little bit about the whole family dynamics. Obviously, or you got older siblings, younger siblings. Where do you fall in the line?
Yeah, so both my sisters are younger. One's actually a freshman here at Arkansas, so I get to see her and hang out with her every now and then. And then one's a senior in high school, and so I don't see her as much. But um, then just growing up, I've been the oldest on both sides of the family. So like out of all the cousins, all the relatives, um, I'm the oldest, and so I've kind of been not put on a pedestal, but kind of everybody kind of looks up to me. So like I've had to put on a good face for the whole family, whole life.
I mean, that's a lot of pressure, man.
Yeah.
That's
Oh yeah.
I mean, you're what they say is the setter of the bar. So wherever you set the bar, that's what everybody else can get away with. So,
Yeah, exactly.
but so tell me, obviously you talked about one of your sisters going to Arkansas. The other one's a senior in high school. Is Where is she, the youngest sister? Where is she going to Arkansas too? Is that the plan?
No, she's not really interested in coming to Arkansas. So she's just gonna go to school in California and basically go to school by the beach. So that was her thinking. So she's
That's not a
actually the
bad
smart
choice at
one.
all. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean that's a pretty solid choice.
Yeah.
Um, so your middle sister, does she big league you at Arkansas? Pretend like she don't know you and like she's like,
No,
Who's
no,
this guy?"
no. We're all good. We're good together. So we don't none of that.
That's good. So obviously, doing the research, dad played a little bit of baseball.
Yeah, he actually played junior college baseball at the same one that I went to, which was Johnson County.
So when you started baseball, how old were you? And was that the only choice that he gave you because he's a baseball guy, or could you play whatever you wanted?
No, I think I played everything growing up. It's just kind of like narrowed my choices the older I got to what I liked. And so basically when I got to high school, it was baseball and basketball was the two, and then it was just baseball. So that's what I enjoyed the most.
So let me ask you this, man. I've played travel baseball in Tennessee, and I've coached travel baseball in South Florida, but I've never coached or played against a team from Kansas. Does travel ball exist? It's got to exist in Kansas, right?
Yeah, it does. It's more of kind of like showcase. At least when I was in high school, it was more like showcases and all that.
Uh-huh.
Um, but actually, like now that I'm in college, I look back and like all the, I guess Kansas City's like an up and coming market because they've got so many just like teams now in the area that go to like all these perfect game events, and that was like not even a thing. I never even went to a perfect game tournament really when I was in high school, and that was really wasn't a thing. But now it's just become like more common, and so you see a lot of Kansas City guys getting more publicity for that.
Well, I mean, you were definitely on the radar by Perfect Game, that's for sure. I don't know, was it high school? What high school did you go to?
I went to Olathe Northwest.
And relatively speaking, like the size of the school, how many people are you graduating with?
Um, it was so my freshman and sophomore year it was bigger, and then they made another high school. And so it ended up being like 500, but it was like almost 700, I would say,
Gotcha. Well,
sophomore year.
I mean, obviously you did exactly what you were supposed to do. I mean, in high school alone, um, top ranked shortstop in the state of Kansas, and that's by Perfect Game. You were ranked as the number one overall player in shortstop in the state of Kansas by Prep Baseball Report. In 2019, Perfect Game preseason All American, first team All State, first team All USA Today high school sports as a junior. You were your team's offensive MVP as a junior in 2018. You hit 391 with 10 doubles, four triples, two homers. First team all conference selection as a junior, second team all conference as a sophomore. I mean, that's a pretty substantial list from really, as soon as you start high school all the way until you end it, clearly a successful career in high school. Um, how good was your high school in comparison to all the other schools in Kansas?
We were pretty good. We made it to state every year that I was there. Um, had some good players. A couple of JUCO guys on each team, and a couple D2 guys as well. And I would say we were pretty good when I was there,
I
for
mean,
the most part.
Jim, what a humble answer. How good were you guys? Oh, we were pretty good. We went to state every year. Man, we've had all Americans on this show, man, and then like they haven't been to state. So man, like that's a big deal, man, to do it every single year. Obviously the expectations are high. Um, but a lot of good baseball has to be played along those seasons. So of all the baseball and all of those seasons, what was your favorite season?
In high school,
Yeah.
my sophomore year was really really cool. We went to the semis, end up losing, but that team was pretty solid, and we weren't really expected to do anything, but ended up having a good year and making it to state, which is a cool experience. So we did on that year. I still think about it a little bit, but single elimination in the state tournament. I wish it was double, but that's how it went.
Man, Daniel, I tell you what. First of all, ours is double down here, so you just need to come on down to Mississippi, Brady. But Daniel, he answered that he's humble with this because most guys talk about what season was their individual best, right? Was their favorite season, and he went to team success and team season, which kind of shows you the character because obviously his stats jump off the chart later on, but he says sophomore.
Yeah, I mean, I think so. The way that I would kind of picture it, Brady, is that to me, obviously, you end up a excellent athlete, high caliber prospect, and kind of the way I would picture it is that your sophomore season is your favorite because there was a lot of success, but you see yourself in a different light. You see yourself being able to compete at high levels. You see yourself starting to pick up the game and start excelling, and moving it from, this tier of, oh, this is cool, this is fun, this is something I'm good at, to holy shit, like this is something that I can do at the next level. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like that's kind of where that switch starts happening. And for me, like I think that would be my favorite season for that reason. So I could only assume that maybe some of the same feelings are what are creeping through when you say that.
Yeah, individually, I would say my sophomore year was kind of when I put it all together, kind of like when the strength hit. I guess you can call it puberty. Um, and all the swinging and everything. It's just kind of like when I can put myself up against teams from the state, especially being the young guy, being a little sophomore, and putting your talent up against a bunch of older guys and teams, and see how you stack. Um, so that was really eye opening and good for me to experience.
So at what point, you know, do colleges start, recruiting you and start reaching out and putting you on their radar?
It was my sophomore year, I would say, after I put it all together. So it was kind of after that sophomore season, and into the summer is really when it started.
So at that point, when you're sitting down and you're getting ready to decide, all right, what are the options? Realistically, in your mind, what were the top options? What were the ones that you were entertaining the most?
So it was kind of a process. I mean, it kind of started with smaller schools, um, some D2s, and then it went to smaller D1s, and then it went to kind of mid majors, and then those higher level ones. And it really wasn't. I didn't start getting the higher caliber ones until the PBR Futures games that summer, um, which I think I had a good BP showing or something. And I guess I just started getting calls, and so um, that's when I really ended the recruiting process, and decided on Wichita State. And so after that, you stop hearing from everybody, and so I really didn't get to have the full recruiting experience that I could have. So
So what was it about Wichita State? Why did they ultimately, you know, get you?
so um, the year before I got there, they had, I think, the second or most uh, draft picks in college baseball. They were loaded, and so the interest of getting guys drafted was really good there. They had a coach by the name of Todd Butler that I really liked, really respected. He actually came from Arkansas. He was the hitting coach at Arkansas before he went to Wichita State, and so it was mostly him. And then um, they gave me the option kind of to graduate early as well, and so that was very intriguing for me, and it's kind of what sold me on it.
So, I mean, obviously, once you got there, you played well. I mean, you played in 46 games, 38 starts, in your first season. You hit 218, 32 hits, 20 runs, four doubles, one home run, 23 RBIs, 21 walks, 4 stolen bases. Um, you know, nothing to, be down about. That's a great way to enter college and a great, stepping stone moving forward. But I want to start with, East Carolina, very well-known school in college baseball. As I'm sure that you know. What was it like hitting your first collegiate home run against East Carolina and helping you guys really knock them off in the opening round of the AAC conference tournament?
Yeah, I mean, it's almost kind of a blur now. I mean, just that whole year and everything. After not having a season that I want, being super young, having graduated high school early, being an 18-year-old kid. It was definitely a good feeling to get that out of the way because it was so unexpected. And I just at that point just wanted to help the team win, especially against a team like that. You're like, oh man, they're the best in the conference. They're nationally ranked top 10, and so it was a good feeling.
So after that season, when you're sitting there reflecting, obviously, we're going to get into the shift, but you had to reflect a little bit. When you do, what do you feel like you took away, and what did you learn that first season at Wichita State?
It was, since I didn't have a fall there in Wichita State, the grindy fall that everybody talks about your first semester. I really wasn't set up, or I really wasn't set up for the longevity of the season, which is tough. I mean, if anybody plays college baseball, they know how tough the long season is, and so my high school season, 20 games, and everything, and so I was good the first 20 games, but then after that, you kind of lose steam and everything. And so for me, it was just learning that, and then going back to the drawing board, keeping things simple, and then getting a lot stronger because I was also 175 pounds as well. So
So let's get into it. I mean, obviously, you decide Wichita State's not where you want to be. You end up at Johnson County. So, and you mentioned, you know, your dad played there, but in your eyes, how did your sophomore year you end up at Johnson County, and why the shift away from Wichita State?
yeah, so after that first semester of playing there, um, we got off the plane, and the AD came in. They basically just cleaned house, fired all our coaches, um, and so that really sucked because all those guys have been recruiting me since I've been you know really young in high school, and so um, then I went and decided to come back to Wichita State and try the new coaching staff out. Um, didn't work really for me. We just didn't see things on the same page, and so um, I decided to leave and ended up at Johnson County. You know, that next semester, um, and so this was before the one-time transfer rule where you go from D1 to D1, and so I did take the JUCO Bandit route. So
Hey, we've had so many guys on here that took the JUCO Bandit route, and and Daniel, I think almost all of them been drafted like and pretty high at that. So anybody who wants to knock JUCO don't know anything about baseball. But was it Johnson County because that's where your dad went, or what was the reason for picking there?
yeah, it was that. So the coach there actually, same coach that coached my dad, so he'd been there for a while. It's 7 minutes from my house. Probably a big reason for it, and um, they're actually a really good program. I mean, we were top 10. And I think it ended the season like at 5 or something, and so they're a really good program as well.
Yeah, no doubt. So for you, you were team MVP, Johnson County male athlete of the year. Played and started in 22 games before the obviously pandemic shortened season, but man, slashing 507, 543. with 9 doubles, 2 triples, 14 home runs, 47 RBIs, and 25 runs scored. We always talk about how the pandemic affected guys, but it may have saved everyone from you, Brady. Looking at these numbers, there's some gaudy numbers, dude, for only 22 games. Like, I mean, what was the reason for success? Obviously, I know you're coming down to junior college, but junior college or not, man, those are some numbers.
Yeah, it was. I mean, just working really hard in the off season, I think, and then getting stronger. I mean, it was kind of like it was me preparing on my own. I mean, with nobody else, and just showing up to JUCO and just being like, all right, this is like kind of like your time to break out, really, kind of like you did in high school, your sophomore year, and so end up having a really good year there. And then, I mean, I guess sadly the season ended, so you don't get the whole season, but it ended up being really good.
Yeah, like I said, the way you were putting it on, I mean, there's no telling where those numbers would have went and what your team would have done. But I'm intrigued because obviously we're gonna have the shift again, and with the pandemic, so many things change, right? Only 5 rounds of the draft, a lot of guys don't leave, but clearly, Van Horn saw something in you that there was obviously a spot available for you to come to Arkansas. So how did you end up there?
Yeah, so basically, I was talking to a bunch of schools during this season, and then once it ended is when it really started ramping up, and so I had, you know, a bunch of options to weigh, and from a lot of good schools, and ended up being that Arkansas, was one of the schools I had grown up seeing. If you were a dude in Kansas City, you ended up committing there um, growing up, and so it ended up working out because it's close to home and SEC, really good program, and it just felt like the right place for me.
Yeah, no doubt. You couldn't have picked a better school. So, you've been at Wichita, you've been at Johnson, and now you're at this prestigious baseball program with some of the best facilities in the country. I mean, what are the emotions like, man, when you get there? You've came from these two places, and now, like you said, dudes go to Arkansas. You go there, and I mean, everything's just top notch, man. What are the emotions like when you get there?
I mean, it's like whoa, like it's almost like I made it kind of thing. But I knew I hadn't made it because I knew it was a long process to get on the field. I mean, it's really hard to play at places like this. I mean, you have to be a dude, and I don't know if people realize how hard it actually is to make it on rosters like this because everybody's good, and so you just really have to, show everybody that you're a dude, and then you kind of got to play with a chip on your shoulder as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So, you guys start your first season there at Globe Life Field. I got to tell you what I tell every guy, Brady, that comes on here. I'm still salty. It's 2 years now. I'm fixing to go see you at the College Baseball Showdown. I'm still salty. I had tickets. I'm supposed to be there. We got snowed in. My car was completely snowed in. Couldn't get out. Luckily, Globe Life redeemed my tickets, but 6 top 10 teams playing down at Globe Life. I couldn't wait to be there, and then I didn't get to go there, and then I had to pay for the stupid Flow Sports thing
Yeah.
so I could watch you guys. But nonetheless, man, y'all killed it. So my first question, what's it like playing in a big league park like Globe Life Field, and what's it like, going into that knowing you got 6 top 10 teams there?
It was just kind of like knowing the team that you had, knowing the talent that you had, and just being confident in it. And we knew we had a really good team. We weren't. I mean, rankings came out. We were just kind of like, what? Like we all knew how good we ended up being, and so it was kind of like you just go down there to prove something, prove that there might be all these top 10 teams there, but we want to be that team, and so it was really good for us. It started our season off right, and it really propelled us to the team we ended up being.
Yeah, no doubt. And y'all obviously, swept the 3 teams you played. But man, I gotta ask you, we talk about hitting a home run against ECU, but hitting a home run against Texas in a big league park, what's that feel like?
Man, that was crazy. I mean, I still think about it, and it's crazy that we can get to play him game one too. But I mean, it was just a memory. that I'll have for a lifetime. I mean, my first home run at Arkansas couldn't come at a better time, like, in a rivalry game, and so it's something I'll always remember.
Yeah. So you played in 57 games with 56 starts, mostly at first base, slashing 284, 347, 560 with 14 home runs, a team leading 63 RBIs. First of all, man, being that you got to play first base, anybody who knows anything about Arkansas in that infield, what was it like, man, playing with the best infield in the country?
Well, it made it really easy on me. So, I mean,
Just
it was
hold your
just
glove out there,
crazy.
right?
Yeah, I mean, I was just there to catch all their plays and everything. I mean, it just shows you. I mean, I came in as a third baseman, and I'm like, man, like I thought I was pretty good at third base, but I mean, that infield was stacked, and so they just made everything look easy, and it's almost like playing on a big league defensive kind of team. So it was awesome.
Yeah, I would gladly step up and play first base with those guys. Like you said, make it pretty easy on you. Now you just got to go out there and perform at the plate, right? And you're good to go. So,
Yeah.
you guys dominated all year long across the board, especially in the SEC. If we broke down series by series, we'd be here all night. So we're not going to do that because, y'all just rolled. But with that, man, what would you say was your favorite SEC series of that season? Because y'all had some really good ones.
Man, we had the I mean, we had the hardest schedule in the country, maybe the hardest schedule of all time. So our RPI was way up there. And so we went to all these cool environments. So everywhere we went to, I mean, there were still like COVID regulations. We would come to town, and then the opposing team would post, all right, 100% capacity, like everybody's coming in. And so now you have all these people come in. And so, I mean, a favorite memory. I mean, when we swept Mississippi State in this, I think it was the second series of the year. That one was on the road, and it was really cool. And then I think the Tennessee series towards the end of the year was actually a really good one too, as well.
Yeah, no, that one was electric. And our other host is a Tennessee fan, and he probably would have had some bitter words for you, but he's not here. And I like that you said Mississippi State. Duty Noble is an amazing place. Obviously, like you said, you don't get the full atmosphere with COVID regulations necessarily, but just enjoying the what they've built there. Y'all and Baum Walker and Duty Noble are a tier above everybody else when you talk about stadiums, and in my personal opinion, anyways. Um, but so you guys end up hosting regionals and super regionals at Ball Walker that year. Obviously that environment can get electric, but if I'm not mistaken, y'all are full capacity by the time postseason comes, right?
Oh yeah, we were full capacity probably halfway through the season.
Okay, so with that being said, just man, tell me how electric is the postseason at Ball?
Man, it's unbelievable. I mean, there's no place like it. It's loud. Our fans are crazy. They're just so, I mean, it's almost, I'm speechless about it because I think about it, I'm like, man, like I want that again this year, like to host, because I mean they make such an impact on the game and make it so tough for other teams, and it's unbelievable. I mean, it's experience. Like I would encourage like all college baseball fans to just go and watch a game there.
Well, see, Brady, you've been humble on this episode. I'm not a humble person at all. And Daniel will tell you, since we started in Off the Bench podcast, I've been pretty spot on, and I got y'all hosting and as a top 5 seed. So get ready to host and have that environment back, my guy, because it's gonna happen. So you guys obviously ultimately come up short, man. And just an crazy game. Kevin Hobbs goes out there as a machine. But what I'm curious about is, what is Van Horn's message to the guys after the game? I mean, you dominate all season, and then you're the number one team, and then you go home to a team that, we always like to say it like this, you're the better team, and people say, no, you're not, you lost. They may have just been better that weekend, and so I know you guys have to feel that way. So what was his message?
Man, he was almost speechless. I mean, it was, I mean, we were all hurt. Coach was hurt. The whole team was hurt just because we'd been so dominant all year, and it was kind of like we don't know what losing really feels like losing a series. And so it was kind of just almost speechless words. Nobody knew how to react, and we had this plans of winning the College World Series and getting there, and so it was heartbreaking. Honestly, I still think about it.
Let me ask you a question. Me and Daniel and Randy go back and forth on this. After the last two seasons, especially with Tennessee and Arkansas, and then just since '99, you starting to believe in that number one curse, Brady? You believe in it?
Yes. Oh yeah.
I do. Daniel, are you on board?
And what's funny is we had known about it too going into it, and we're just like, oh crap. And we didn't think much of it. I mean, we won game one and the supers,
By
like,
like 100 runs.
yeah, and so we're like we didn't think much of it. And so that's just how like just knowing just baseball can bite you in the butt anytime. And so yeah, I do believe in it now. I'd much rather be the number two seed.
No doubt. Daniel, you believing in it at this point?
No,
No, still not
no,
buying it.
no. Go out and win. Be the number one overall seed.
Well, I'll tell you this, Brady. We've been talking to guys, and you're not alone. Hey, the Tennessee guys, the LSU guys, especially because they're top two spots in the rankings, they believe in it. They've made jokes about got to find a way to lose a few games down the stretch, get out of that one spot. But last season, man, played in 63 games, 62 starts. This time, man, you're 37 at the DH, 13 in right field, 12 at first base. Hitting 255 with a team leading 16 home runs, 58 RBIs. Had three multi home run games, including against A&M and Vandy. You guys obviously didn't steamroll like the year before. You had your ups and downs, but I kind of got, the same question I had around the last season. Is there any series that really stuck out, whether it was you as an individual or you guys as a team, that was just your favorite of that season in the regular season?
I mean, can you beat the Stillwater Regional?
Well, that's why I said regular season. I know Stillwater. We're gonna get there.
I know. Let me think.
Don't say sweeping LSU or I'm gonna turn this off.
Sweet. I mean, that was a good one.
No, that's probably
I
the
was
best
thinking
one. That's
about
why I
that
said
one.
that. That's
I
why I
was
said
thinking
that.
about it.
LSU came in there hot and y'all humbled us really quick.
Yeah. I can't remember. I mean that's
That's
probably
the
the one
answer.
I'm gonna have to
Just,
say.
just say it. Sweeping LSU.
Yeah, sweeping LSU felt
Boom.
good, and
Got it.
they have a good team every year. So
Yeah, no, on the Stillwater thing, that's where I was going to go right next, man. So obviously, all these college baseball sites, we're all hyping up, getting ready for the season, and there's probably more Stillwater regional clips played than any of them. Most people don't even have to be associated with Arkansas, regard that was the most entertaining regional of last season, and so my first question though for you is, now that you're not at home in Baum Walker, you're going there. What's it like being in an atmosphere where you're the away team like that?
I think honestly that specific team really needed that, and I say that because we needed something with a chip on our shoulder. Like we needed something hard to do, like where we could all come together and just fight together basically. And so that like really helped us like come together, especially like I would say game two, where score was like 20-18 or something. But for that team to do that, especially not playing specifically well the weeks prior, it was huge for us in that postseason run.
Yeah, and I mean, I was surprised that, I thought LSU or Arkansas, since we brought, LSU up, I thought one of those two teams was going to get one of those last regional bids. I was really surprised both of them had to go on the road the way they did. But For you in the Stillwater Regional, you hit 2 home runs, you drove in 5 RBIs. You had 2 walks and 3 runs batted in against Oklahoma State. So I got 2 questions. Obviously, just how much fun was it ultimately getting that win? And has Jalen Battle's home run ball landed yet?
Still haven't found Jalen's ball. Might be might be in Kansas right now, but
Just
and it
it
was
just took down one of these balloons.
yeah, no, it did.
What was that? Was when you talk about a moment that doesn't involve yourself, like was that your favorite of that? Because that thing, I mean, I watched that clip so many times, and I'm not an Arkansas fan. Like that thing is just awesome to watch over and over. And you were
Well,
there.
they had just switched pitchers, and so like we had just taken a 2-run lead, and the bases are still loaded. So we're kind of coming down. We were all juiced up. Now we're kind of coming down. And so then he throws the first pitch, and it was kind of like we all sit back up because he just absolutely just obliterates a ball over everything. And so, I
Yeah,
mean,
the
it was
call on that
almost like
game is epic too. The Into the Night. Oh, I love it.
yeah, yeah, and it was loud. It was kind of like no way. Like we thought we had done it all that game, and apparently not. So
So, you'll obviously move on. Y'all go to Chapel Hill. Man, I got to cut right to it, Brady. You're going to have to not be humble just one time. You hit the walk-off single against UNC to punch the ticket to go to Omaha. What's it like, man, to hit the walk-off that punches the ticket to Omaha?
One trip left.
I mean, you can only get that.
Is headed back to Omaha.
Oh my gosh. I mean, you can only simulate that in dreams, I feel like. I mean, it's something you're in the backyard as a kid and you just almost pretend like you did it. And it's like I mean, it's still surreal. I mean, you just kind of black out in that moment. You're like, wow, did I really just do that? And I mean, especially like the year prior and all the heartbreak that we had in 21, having that good team. I mean, it was just, it just, there just wasn't any feeling like it in the world.
Let me ask you a question. Did you take a beating being that guy? Like, did they mob you and you end up on the bottom of a dog pile?
Oh yeah, they started ripping my jersey. Someone tackled me behind me too. So like I was forcefully like going to the bottom of that pile. And so, I was fine with it at that moment. I was like, yeah, let's do this.
So you talk about obviously coming up short the year before for the guys who were returning and got to Omaha, man, what was the conversations like, in regards to, man, like we're here now. We should have been here last year. We're here now, and like it's business.
Yeah, I mean, it was mostly, having fun, soaking all in, but then it was like, I mean, we all have this one goal. This is why we came back. I mean, this is why we're here. And so everybody kind of knew the assignment at that point.
Yeah, so I got to be there. Unfortunately, my daughter had a huge Sweet 16 party that my wife. Usually, I stay for all of Omaha. I thought about divorcing her for planning this party during Omaha, so I only got to watch the first couple of games of you guys, and then I had to leave. But I did get to see y'all. I unfortunately did not get to see your 436-foot home run against Ole Miss, which is the longest recorded home run in a College World Series game at Charles Schwab Field. Man, what's that feel
This
like?
is the sixth home run in this ballpark that's been hit straight away center field. And Brady Slavens got all of that one. They moved him to the 8 hole from the 2 spot. Fastball straight down the middle. My man barreled it. And we're talking about the wind blowing in. It did not matter.
No, I don't think I've seen a center field.
I mean, you just can't do it. I mean, you shock yourself sometimes. When I hit it, did I think it was gonna go out? No, because I knew the wind was blowing straight in. I
Look,
thought like
Brady.
he was gonna go back and catch it.
I haven't even hit a ball 436 feet on MLB The Show. So, I mean, not to mention, that's a big part. Wind's blowing in. The wind, you know, is crazy there. It can do a lot of different things: blow in, blow out, blow left, blow right, blow down. I mean, for you to be able to monster that ball to straightaway center is a feat, and I don't care what anybody says. That's a blast, dude.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't have hit it any harder than that. So
When I look at things, Brady, and I think about all the guys we've come on here, it goes back to, man, if I'm putting this all together, and I think Daniel would agree with me, I think it's going back to JUCO, man, right? Like rebuilding yourself, putting in the time, like you said, putting in that work. Because if you just look at your numbers, after that, especially your power numbers, man, like, it's a run that started from then and just continued to grow. And obviously, we got these walk-off hits, we got these monster bombs, and I think it's because, that, like you said, that you took a step back, you rebuilt, planned, and then went to Arkansas, got a part of these facilities where you're able to then take it to the next level. I think it all just really came together. But, obviously y'all come up short again. I'm not gonna ask what was said. I know it's gotta be heartbreak again. My question for you is, like, a lot of guys leaving, man. Be like, what's that like? Because it's not just one or two guys, man. You lost a lot of guys that you built a brotherhood with. So it's one thing to lose as it is the game, but then you're losing a lot of friends. What's that like?
I mean, yeah, it was tough. I mean, after the season, I'm thinking, I'll be right there with them, and so I didn't think, I'd be back here, and so, having the opportunity to come back, I mean, it was awesome. I mean, new group of guys, have a few guys that but um, kind of just reminds you of, when you go to these new places and you just meet a whole set of teammates, and the teammates we have this year are all great. I mean, we mesh really good together. I mean, there's no issues. I mean, we got a really, close binding team this year, I would say.
So, I mean, are you amped about the idea? Like some guys don't want that leadership role, man. But obviously, you're going to shoulder that leadership role. You've been there. You're the upperclassman. You're obviously a stud. Like, I mean, are you embracing this? Are you excited about it?
Yeah, I mean, it's great. I like it. I mean, it's awesome to teach these new guys, what I've learned in my past experiences, being at different places and learning different things about the game. And so, just passing my knowledge to them, and what I've learned myself is, I've really enjoyed it, and kind of just being, that mini coach, or just being like, hey, like, you're good, like, you're a really good player. Like, I wasn't even this good when I was, your age. And so just passing on along just a bunch of wisdom to these younger guys.
Yeah, absolutely. So obviously the unfortunate news, Jackson Wiggins goes down, but if there's anything we know, I told you when I was messaging you, we you were the first hitter we were having on, because I mean we've done had Hagan on, we've had Brady, we've had Hunter, we've had Cody, and so we know the depth of the pitching staff you got. Obviously you don't want to lose a guy like that, but I feel like you are one of the few teams in America that had the depth that would be able to sustain an injury like that, even though he is an ace and it's not somebody you want to lose. So my question that I do want to ask though, man, like, outside of the guys I just named, you get to face all these guys in inter squads. Like, give us another name or two that you expect to really step up this season pitching wise.
You want from last year's season or just this new squad?
This new squad, who's coming up, who's going to step up? So like I said, we've had Hunter Holland and Cody Adcock, Brady Tiger, and Hagen Smith on. So outside of those guys, with Jackson being down, who's a couple guys you expect to step up?
I mean, all those guys I just mentioned are all really good. I mean, had an opportunity this spring to hit off of some of them, and they just all got really good stuff. I mean, they all have good velo, good breaking ball stuff, good control, and so, it's really tough to hit off a lot of them. Um, and then we got some really good freshmen. I mean, there's no, like, freshmen nowadays are really good. I mean, they all throw 95.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's all hard to hit, and it's all good stuff. It's just, that little maturing. And so, um, we just got a lot of great talent, and we got a deep pitching staff that we can throw in at any time. and can eat up innings. And so we got to. I would say this is probably one of the best pitching staffs I've seen since I've been here.
Yeah, no doubt. And your coach spoke about it, and that's what sucked about y'all losing Jackson Wiggins. He said it's probably the deepest pitching staff I've had since I've been coaching, and so hate that you took a hit to that, but it also with what he said, you got dudes that could fill that spot. My question for you, man, I got to watch them all through high school. Obviously, watched them last year. Just how filthy is Brady Tiger, man?
He's got some good stuff, man. I mean, all his breaking stuff moves. He's getting more control as he's getting older. Um, Obviously, he's got that mindset, that closing mindset that's strong. I mean, he's just a good dude to be around. I mean, me and him are good buds as well, and so he's a goofball. But then, like when it's game time, I mean, he's serious. I mean, he's focused, he's locked in, and so I think that's the best trait about him is that he knows when to flip the switch.
Yeah, no doubt. So the question that a lot of people have, we're gonna look to you for advice on this, man. Obviously, you got you and Diggs and a couple other guys that are returns, but like give us some. You were talking about freshmen. We obviously know transfers. Give us some bats for the listeners to know for Arkansas who they need to be looking out for.
All right, so I'm gonna say Jared Wagner. He's a transfer from Creighton. He's already a preseason All-American. Really good bat. Caleb Cali. He's also a junior college transfer. Really good bat. They've both been hitting, super well since they've gotten here, and they're going to be in the meat of our order. Then you got Tavian Josenberger, really fast transfer from Kansas. He can do it all. Really good defender in the outfield as well. And then I think you're going to see the Jace Borfin in there, and he's going to make probably the biggest impact on the team. I would say, he's one of the leaders in the team, and was dealing with some injuries last year. And I think you're just going to see the best version of him, and he's going to play really well this season.
And that's why I like asking questions like that to you guys, because we can read D1 baseball's report, but I want to hear it from the guys who are seeing these guys swing it every day, putting in the work. I'm going to respect your opinion over these guys because you're seeing what's going to probably come to fruition, and so I'm excited for it. Obviously, going to see you guys in 4 days in Arkansas or at the College Baseball Showdown. I'm gonna be wearing my Arkansas in off the bench shirt with the tiger on the back. So man, hopefully I don't bring y'all bad luck. Big things happen. Y'all sweep out like last time you're in Globe Life Field, but man, I look forward to it.
Oh yeah, you'll love it. You'll love it. It's an unbelievable event. No restrictions this time, so we'll see how many we can pack in there.
Arkansas travels well. I expect Arkansas and Texas specifically. I know it's in Texas, but the rest of the teams don't travel like Texas do. I expect Arkansas and Texas to pack that thing out.
Oh yeah, I do too. It'll be awesome, unbelievable experience.
Yeah, it's gonna be wild, man. It's here. Yeah,
It's here. We're ready.
Yeah,
We're ready. It's been a long wait, but we're here now.
that's right. Now business. There's business to tend to, is what we like to say. But speaking of business, Brady, before we get out of here, we got to play a game, man. Got to play this or that. It's the same game we play with every 175 guests that's been on this show. So this is where we get to ask you 2 questions. You choose one option or the other. Can't say both, can't say neither. And Jim and I sit back and we judge every answer that you give.
Okay.
All right, you down to play? All right, let's do it. We'll get into some easy ones. We'll give you a little. We'll put it on a tee for you to start. Pizza or tacos?
Tacos.
Yeah. Tomorrow's Tuesday. Is it Taco Tuesday?
I would say so.
It's Valentine's Day now. Keep that in mind.
Oh no.
So
Not tacos.
That
Not
that'll
tacos. Actually,
that'll
have a
that'll
reservation at PF Chang's with my fiance. So that's what's on the menu for tomorrow.
So I'm glad you brought that up. Scouring social media, and I come across a post, and the post says, "New favorite day, 1/2/2023." So let's just hypothetically, and this is going off script. This is just something that I'm just pulling out of thin air. Let's hypothetically say you win a baseball game on June 25th, 2023. Do you know what date that would signify?
What?
June 25th, 2023 is the last possible day that a baseball game would happen for this 2023 season.
Okay.
So if you were to win that game, what would that mean?
You mean we were national champions, right?
Absolutely. So let me ask you this or that question. If that happens, what's your new favorite day? 1/2/2023 or 6/25/2023? And I'll preface this that didn't your fiance graduate from Tennessee?
She did.
Okay, so
Yes, she did. There, we can get in another conversation about that if you want.
No, Randy's not here. So whenever Randy's not here, I'll opt to not talk about Tennessee.
Okay.
I kid. Like Tennessee's a great team, but I mean, obviously,
he would have brought up that Tennessee Arkansas series
Yeah.
with you, even though y'all won, and he would have bantered with you.
yeah, it would have been a lot better. But I'm not gonna make you answer that question because I think we all know what the true answer would be, and then what the politically correct answer would be. So with Valentine's Day coming up tomorrow, we'll just leave it at that, man. So you got plans, that's good. You got a place to eat, that's good. So hey, enjoy it. Enjoy, that the new status, the fiance status, and obviously I say all that to tell you congratulations, man. So
Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, it's
Yep.
awesome. It's a new experience, but it's awesome. Wouldn't want it to be with anybody else.
That was the longest way to say congratulations to anyone I've ever heard.
had to tell a story within a story,
Yeah.
So, but back to it. Beach or lake?
Beach.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Beach.
Better bombs, Battles or Wallace? Who hits better bombs?
See, Jalen's got more swag, but then Caden's looks so effortless. So, I'm gonna have to go with Caden there.
Here you go. Is the glass half full or half empty?
I'm a glass half empty guy.
Hey, I like that because I feel like when the glass is half empty, there's a little bit of pressure. And not like crazy, like unwarranted pressure, but pressure that's like, all right, get your shit together and we gotta go. Let's go. Let's do this.
I'm more of a all right, let's fill it back up. I mean, it's half empty. Let's not finish it. Let's fill it back up.
That's right. Bucket list concert or bucket list sporting event? If you had to choose one.
Probably bucket list concert.
And who is that concert? You told us a bunch.
And hey,
Oh,
you can pick the
man.
play. A lot of the guests, they'll pick the place. They got it all mapped out
Yeah.
when we ask them.
See, it's all like ever since I was in high school, it's always been Kanye West. But I mean, I know this lately he's been kind of off the rails, and so
So would your bucket list concert be to kind of go back in time and see Kanye before he went off the rails?
yeah, exactly. That's my answer.
All right. I can respect that. Which one are you looking more forward to hosting? Texas A&M or Tennessee?
And let me preface why I put this in there, Daniel. Brady, I was told by the Arkansas parents that that cult-like atmosphere down there in A&M was letting y'all have it last year. So I put that in there because I thought there might be a little, want to get back.
Yeah, that atmosphere was great too. It was a little different than all the other ones I've been to, just because. I mean, I guess you said it's cult like almost. I'm gonna have to go with Tennessee. I mean, one of the best series I've ever played against was not me personally, but just was with Tennessee. And there's that all that Twitter beef between Arkansas fans and Tennessee fans that all over Twitter, I
It's
swear.
still going. Yeah, it's still going.
Oh, I mean, they ought to have a college game day for that series. I mean, it's going to be unbelievable.
You
I'm sure
know,
the game's already sold out for that game too, or
I,
that series.
I guarantee it is. But I mean, it's either one is going to be
He,
great.
he made me feel bad by saying that because I do have a college game day that I'm doing that weekend. Unfortunately, it's just going to be at Duty Noble for Mississippi State and Ole Miss. But
Yeah,
that's
I mean,
but that y'all all right. When you talk about rankings and quality of teams, Tennessee and Arkansas are better. But the bragging rights for the state of Mississippi and the last two national champions, people, when I put out the schedule of where I was going to be and doing things, people told me I had lost my mind, and I said because I live in Mississippi. I was like, it means a lot here. So I was like, that's the place that gotta be.
yeah, I mean, I respect it. I really do, because that rivalry is special as well.
I
But
don't.
maybe there's this.
And I'll tell you why I don't respect his answer is because if it was LSU, his answer would be totally different.
I'm gonna be I'm gonna be at Arkansas at LSU. Don't worry about it. And I'm gonna be at Arkansas at Ole Miss. Don't worry about it. I got
Hey,
these.
Yeah, I mean, we got a good road schedule, and then you know the Arkansas Tennessee game. I mean, that's gonna be a good one as well. I mean, our
Bro,
schedules this year is pretty cool. So we get to go to some cool places.
Brady, here's what I need from you. Look, because we talk about these Twitter beefs, right? And these Ole Miss fans, I had footage because they claim that they have the best fan base in baseball. Mississippi State and Arkansas fans lose their mind on them. And I happened to be at multiple series, starting with the Tennessee series where fans were like leaving by the fourth inning. And so I say that to say, if y'all run them out the stadium so I can get footage again, uh, you'll make me a happy person because I don't agree with them. I don't agree with them even in the slightest. And so I just need more proof, Brady. So just tee off.
Yeah, I mean, they had a really. I mean, we went there a couple years ago. They had a really good, showing Friday and Saturday, and then, um, Sunday. I mean, we were kind of putting the beat down on them early. Um, I mean, they ended up coming back, but I mean, a lot of their fans just kind of dipped.
The
They
student
didn't
section will
stick
stay.
there.
I'll give them their credit.
They did a little bit.
When
I mean,
LSU 2 years ago, check this out, Brady. LSU was up 9-1. Whole crowd of dip. Student section was there. Hey, they got rewarded. They came back from down 9-1 on LSU, including a walk-off. And they do the beer showers. And so anyway, as an LSU fan, I actually kind of like, I was mad, but I like appreciated watching the beer showers, and the student section was still there on a Saturday night. I was like, they stayed through a 9-1 game. Hey man, they got rewarded.
yeah, I mean, LSU's another one. I mean, we went there a couple of years ago, and you know, good Friday night, but it's kind of like the fan base lost a little faith in that team, and that team was so talented. I mean, I was honestly disappointed because you grow up, you hear, oh man, LSU fans are craziest. That the box, all everything around it, and I know they're going to be showing up this year. That team they got going down there and
Look,
stuff.
all SEC fan bases listen to this show, and I gave my top five, and I'm an LSU fan, and I put them at 4. I don't try to lie to anybody. You can give me Arkansas, Mississippi State. and Ole Miss. And I haven't been to A&M, but based upon every player that's came on here or parents, like I was telling you, talking about when Arkansas was there last year, I could even argue that maybe that atmosphere, they just don't have the capacity or as nice of a stadium. But yeah, LSU, I mean, it can get electric, and this year being the expectations may very well be, but like I said, it's for me, it's Baum and Duty Noble, and they're at the tier above everybody else.
Yeah, they're both just, I mean, it's unreal. I mean, sometimes you can't even hear yourself think if it gets real loud, especially with the cowbell and everything like that. So you just try to limit the amount of bell that you hear there when you play there.
Yeah, it's those cowbells are, it's one of those things. If you're a fan of the team, you love it, but if you're not a fan of the team, it's probably the most aggravating, annoying, maybe borderline unfair thing that any college can do.
But Daniel,
I know.
I'm gonna tell you, 15,000 cowbell still isn't as annoying as one Vandy whistler. I'll document that.
That's true. And I've heard you guys talk about this with other players about the traditions of every SEC team. Like when I've heard a lot of guys be like, "Oh, we hate the woo pig, the calling the hogs and all that." But every fan base has something. I mean, Mississippi State's got the cowbell that they ring all the time after every hit or strikeout. Um, Ole Miss sings some song. I don't even know. They sing it all the time. Tennessee sings Rocky Top after every
And that's
run
the
or
most
so.
annoying song ever.
I mean, oh my goodness. I mean, they want to complain about the Hogs. I mean, we did call the Hogs a lot, but man,
That
everybody's got their own thing.
he's verifying that he watched the Luke Lipsius clip. Is what he's doing
Yeah.
right now.
Yes, you know why? Because
But
my fiance and his fiance are best friends.
uh,
So me and Luke like know each other. So I know he's saying something about that.
Well, hopefully, I say hopefully, I guarantee you there's going to be a lot of hogs called. And it's whether you love it or you hate it, I think it's probably one of the coolest things that you can see fans do. So, I tip my hat to you guys. It's getting thousands of people, um, you know, early in the game may be a little bit easier than as the game progresses and people are having, whatever they're partaking in, daddy sodas or adult diet cokes. But either way, I'm sure it's awesome, and it's a sight to see. Um, but getting back to the game, we got a couple more questions before we let you bounce, man. Would you rather be attacked by a tiger or a grizzly bear? And when I say rather be attacked, obviously both of them could destroy you. But if you had a chance to fight off one or the other, which one would you choose? Would you rather be attacked by the tiger or attacked by the grizzly bear?
Um, See, I've been scared of grizzly bears. I don't know why. Some of those grizzly bears are big. Like some of those grizzly bears, I think could maybe take out a tiger. So I'm gonna have to go. I'd rather be mauled by a tiger, I think.
Man, look, it there's no right answer here. You're right. The grizzly bears, some stand like 12, 14 feet high when they're all the way up, and they're just massive animals, and they could literally destroy you.
I just think my favorite
Even
answers, Daniel, have came from Tennessee players. We got Blake Burke, who said he'd play dead, and we got Christian Scott, who said he'd outrun him.
See, I think well, in there, don't like grizzly bears like not eat you though? Don't they just like leave you just there if they attack you?
I don't know. I
yeah,
don't want to find out. I know that.
they,
Is that a
they
fact? Is that not? Am I going crazy?
I don't know. It sounds accurate, but I don't know.
Dang, we didn't Google that when we put
Yeah,
this or that
I
question.
will definitely look that up. But
But Daniel,
here's what
tell him why the tiger. Yeah.
the tiger is the answer that is least picked, but I would take the grizzly bear because I feel like if I catch the grizzly bear in the right time of the year, that dude's going to be in hibernation mode and I might have a chance. The tiger, Brady, when does a tiger spend most of their time hunting?
Hunting?
Yeah.
Is that like during the winter?
No.
No,
They're
I don't
they're
know.
at night.
Oh yeah, at night.
When you
And
can't see them.
yeah, and if I can't see something, it's extremely hard to fight it off. So, I'm going to take my
Okay.
chances with the grizzly bear for that reason.
I
But,
respect that. I respect
hey,
that.
but there's no right or wrong. Like I don't want to be attacked by either, but given the two, you know. All right, Brady, last question, man. This is a big one. It's an important question for us to fully understand you. Would you rather betray your best friend or would you rather go to jail for a crime you didn't commit?
How long are we talking in jail?
Everybody has that. 10 years. 10
10
years.
years.
At least 10 years.
And you're talking about when you talk about betraying, like what happens?
Like this is the end all be all. Like this is like there's no coming back from this. Like you are
Oh,
not friends, you're not talking again. Like this is like the one.
see, I feel like if you go to jail for 10 years, that relationship is just gonna fizzle too, almost, maybe a little bit. I don't know. I mean, I feel like it's such a bad answer to say betraying your best friend.
It'd be the same answer every other guest says. So if you
That's
go the other way,
I
you're
mean.
unique.
It's the writing. Like it's the writing.
Yeah, that's the one I'm gonna go with, but it doesn't feel right to say it.
Let me tell you this. Jim is my best friend. Has been my best friend for a really long time. But given the choice between the two in this question, it's not even like
No, you better go ahead and tell him that you said you
I-
wouldn't do a weekend in jail.
I'm telling you, I wouldn't do 10 minutes in jail. Like they could be sending me to like a little holding facility for the night for a few hours. Like
Jim did it.
is that dude and he did it and I'm sticking the knife really far in his back. I ain't going to jail, Brady. Just not doing it.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I'm
You
not
know,
going to jail either.
I'm 38 and at this point in my life I know what I'm good at and what I'm not good at. And I've never been to jail, but I can tell you this. That ain't for me. It ain't. It's
No.
not it at all. So
Daniel,
sorry, Jim.
Daniel, I got a gut feeling about something. I'm gonna ask him. I know we're done with this with that, but I gotta go with a question that we retired. Brady, I gotta know: is a hot dog a sandwich?
No.
No,
No.
what you
Something
thought
gave me a vibe that he would say yes. I was just hoping he would. See, what happened was I went to Globe Life Field last year and I had a hot dog sandwich, and now I'm convinced. And I'm trying to find people who would join me. We were retired the question because I was getting very few people, but I don't know. Brady gave me a vibe that he might join me, but I was wrong.
Hot dog sandwich?
Mm-hmm.
Is it just a regular hot dog or is it?
What they cut two hot dogs into four halves and then put it on toasted bun, and so they said that doesn't count. It's no longer the same.
basically they were trying to be cheap and charging this dude $12 for half a hot dog.
Well, I guess if you put it on Texas toast, it might count.
That's what it was. See?
No,
Anyway, I've done went off the script.
That's just foolish. And you know, Jim, you're gonna make Brady's episode end with that ridiculousness.
I hope they have one.
You ought to be.
I hope they have one at Globe Life Field, Daniel, and I'm sending you a picture. I hope they carry them just like Minute Maid Park did.
Yeah, whatever. All right, Brady, dude. Anything before you get out of here? Anything you want to plug or promote?
Nope, just go Hogs. Thanks for having me on. Appreciate it, guys.
Absolutely. If you want to know more about Brady and maybe what he's doing on a Monday. Maybe he's being interviewed on a podcast, or maybe it's Taco Tuesday. Maybe you want to see the tacos he's got diced up in there. Going over to Instagram at Brady Slavens, or if you want to see him on the diamond, get updates on Arkansas Razorback baseball. You want to see the Hogs called, going over to Instagram at Razorback BSB. Brady, dude, it's been a pleasure. We wish you nothing but the best. Hopefully, you guys have a magical season, a magical run. We'll come back, bring you back, and we'll talk about it, man.
Yes, sir. We'll see y'all in Arlington, hopefully Omaha.
Absolutely. That's Brady Slavens, everybody. If you like hearing Brady's story, or you just like hearing us average Joes talk X's and O's, please like and share the podcast on Facebook, retweet us on Twitter, listen and subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Anchor. As always, comments, ratings, feedback, likes, love, hugs, hearts, all that good stuff is always welcome. We'll see everybody back next episode. We got episode 11, and we're going to get the last little warm up, the last little baseball update from Mississippi State baseball star Cade Smith. This has been the In Off the Bench podcast. As always, remember, strong body, sharp minds, grit and grind all the time. We're out.